Yo, what's going on, man? Jason Capital here. Welcome back. Today, we're on day 12 already. Power Influence. So, we talked about celebrity. You really understand celebrity now. You understand the power of it, what it does for you. Now, let's talk about how to actually create it in your life. Okay? Let's talk about how to actually create it in your life. So, number one, the first thing that we have here, get up here, is positioning yourself verbally. Okay? We do it verbally. We position yourself as a celebrity, and we do it verbally in conversation. We do it when you write letters. Okay, we do it when you text. What I mean by that is, for instance, if you say to a girl, hey, you're coming out with us this Friday night, okay? That's like a good direct invite, right? You guys know you don't just be like, hey, what are you doing Friday? Like, would you like to, I don't know, maybe go grab a drink, like, oh, shucks, like, that doesn't work. We know that, right? Instead, you are more commanding when you invite a girl out. You tell her what she's gonna do, right? And you're not just like, now, dressed, 5 minutes, leaving, like that kind of thing. But it's more like, you know, Friday night, it's gonna be a shit show. We're going to this bar, you're coming, kind of thing. Like, you're excited, like, you're coming, okay? That's one level. The next level up, where you position yourself as a celebrity at the same time. All we're doing here, when I say this, is you're positioning yourself as the authority as you do it. So instead of me saying you're coming with this Friday night, if I said something like, say I'm talking to a girl and we're talking about we're gonna do something in the future, she's gonna come out with my friends because we go to clubs a lot and we party and it's a lot of fun. If I say something like, when I let you come out with us, you better not embarrass me, okay? Listen, just so you know, like, when I let you come out with us, you better not embarrass me. What is the implication there? I'm the authority, right? The key is the first part. When I let you come out with us, who has the power? You do. You're the one deciding when she gets to come out with you and when she doesn't, okay? You're the authority. When I let you come out with us, you better not embarrass me. So that's one way to do it. Verbal associations, right? Have the inside scoop on famous authorities or celebrities. It gives you, it's a little, same way, this is like it's not like the greatest way, but like it's like the lower, it's like that way to be like, yeah, I saw Kim Kardashian at the club last night. It gives you like a quick little hit of like power. Right? And it works for a second. It's not like anything you want to rely on, but it works. I know someone who, I'm not going to mention their name because it's got such a weird story, but they always tell the story about how they were in the shower at this gym in LA at Equinox once, and Jeremy Piven was there. Right? Jeremy Piven played Ari Gold. And he was walking around the locker room naked, and he had the tiniest dick he'd ever seen in his life. Just like literally like just the smallest penis of all time. Right? And he tells this story to everyone, okay? Because he thinks it's a funny, there's some weird psychology going on there. I don't know why he tells it. But dude, you should see the responses he gets when he tells this to girls. They eat it up. They want to know everything about it. Maybe not how small it was, but just they would like, they have questions about the stories. They have comments about celebrities who think they can get any girls and Napoleonic complexes. And it gets into the whole thing. But it's just like, he says the little inside scoop on a celebrity, right? Something that just, it works. That's positioning yourself verbally. And stories with other celebrities is the other way you do it verbally, right? Stories about celebrities. So for me, for instance, I'm not up here telling stories about Jeremy Piven's penis, because I don't give a shit, right? Or about what, you know, how Eva Longoria changed her life, because that lion bitch didn't change shit, right? The stories I tell are going to be about Julius Caesar or Alexander the Great, right? Or I remember his first name, the guy who invented Rolls-Royce. That guy was a fucking genius. Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett, George Clooney, Robert Downey Jr. Those are the stories I'm going to be telling about, right? So what happens is when I'm telling those stories, the person on the other end is hearing the story and it's fucking interesting and they're listening and they're learning and that's great. But in their mind, unconsciously, they're just associating you with that person. Jason Capital, Julius Caesar. Oh, look at that. The initials, JC, they're the same. That's really interesting as well. How'd that happen, right? But they're associating you with that person because you seem to know a lot of things about that person, right? So now all of a sudden you're kind of on the same level. And just because, so when you tell stories, just be very particular about who the subject in the story is, okay? If someone tells me some story about some celebrity gossip or something, it doesn't take me long to realize that person's a fucking idiot, right? Because that's what they're thinking about, is celebrity gossip stories. And I'm telling stories about Julius Caesar, and they're like, like detailed stories. then you're like, this guy must really know a lot about Caesar. Like he must be well-read, all these other things, but you're associating me with that person. Someone like Julius Caesar, great leader. If I want to be seen as a great leader, of course I'm going to tell stories about other great leaders, okay? Number 2, higher status signals. Okay, that's the second way you get celebrity status. All your body language, eye contact, vocal tonality. You saw that in module 2. Number 3, the hero story. Okay? Your hero story. These can change sometimes, okay? So I'm going to show you one way we use this in marketing, and I'm going to show you a way you use it in social circle. So in marketing, think of someone who has a really good hero story. Who here follows Tony Robbins or has ever listened to any of his programs? Okay. I like Tony. Awesome dude. Who can tell me his story of how he got started? Can anyone repeat it to me? Anyone remember it? Not any major Tony stories? If I start telling you some details, will you start to remember? Marina Del Rey, 38 pounds overweight, 410 square foot apartment. He's almost broke, right? His apartment was so small, his kitchen was in the bathtub. He used it as a stove. Anyone heard this story before? Wow, interesting. Okay.
On the beach.
Yeah. So the whole story, that's where he lived. His life's in shambles, and one day he just built up so much anger with his life, and he instantly transformed the anger into passion and gratefulness and excitement. And he got so excited that he was like, I can actually do this with my life. He bolted out of his shitty Marina Del Rey apartment and goes straight to the beach on Venice and just sprints for like a mile and a half. He's just so excited. Right? And then when he stops running, he's out of breath and he's sitting there and he's like, I can do this. You know, I can change my life and I can change others. And he goes and he loses the weight and he becomes a millionaire and then he shows others how he did it. That's his whole hero story. Okay? If any of you were like big Tony Robbins fans, you would be able to repeat that story to me. Okay? If someone's a celebrity, they all have a hero story and their fans will be able to repeat it. That's like a good thing to remember. So for instance, everyone here is a fan of Tony Stark, Iron Man. Everyone know his story, how he became Iron Man? You guys can repeat it to me, of course, right? Because you've seen it, right? He's in Afghanistan, just a little playboy, right? Drinking scotch, please no gang signs, gets blown up, goes in the cave, builds the thing, kills the people, comes back, changes the world, etc., right? That's his story. So everyone has a hero story. A lot of people know my hero story, Jason Capital, virgin at 20 years old, right? A lot of you probably heard where I go to the frat party. My friends go and talk to these girls and they introduce them to me. My friends are like picking them up and spinning them around and these girls are loving it. And then they introduce them to Jason. And I literally, like a gust of wind, I made the girls disappear in a minute. Of pure boredom, right? And I was furious and I'm pissed and I storm home that night. I leave the frat party early and I resolve right then and there, that will never happen with women again. I'm gonna become the next Casanova. Right? And I go through hundreds of books and I study mentors and I'm studying the guys who are best with women. I'm traveling around the country to learn under mentors and I discover these secrets about dating women, this secret formula called fun and challenging and then higher status, and then it grows and it grows and now Team Capital is on this huge mission changing the fucking planet. That's all true. That's all real. Okay, but that's a hero story. Okay? Every celebrity has a hero story attached to them. This is what you want for yourself. So the hero story, there's a few different formulas. One is the rags to riches story, right? The rags to riches story. Tony Robbins, broke in his apartment, rags, right? Blah, blah, blah. Then he discovers the secret, changes his life. Now he's rich. Now he shares it with others, that he went from rags to riches. Another one, and by the way, to see you know, you don't tell this story every time you meet someone. Okay, you're not like, hey, nice to meet you, by the way. You know my hair story? Let me share it with you. That's not how it's working, okay? It's more like maybe you have this, I don't know, on your Facebook page, right? If you have a YouTube channel, this is like your home YouTube video. If you're in marketing and you have a website, you put this as your biography. You don't list credentials, you write your hero story. People are bored by a fucking resume. They're not gonna read that shit. They're not gonna remember that you finished second in your class at Dartmouth. Like, suck a dick, no one cares, right? But if you tell some awesome hero story about some rags to riches that you went on that's gotten you to this incredibly successful place in your life, and you've gone through all this hardship and you can relate to them and now you're changing lives and you want them to be next, and that's your biography, people buy into that. That's awesome. So you just have it in a couple places, or maybe you tell it to a couple friends that you're close with and then buzz spreads and you tell it to some girl who's a good friend of yours and she mentions it to her other friends and she thinks it's fucking awesome, and now people just kind of know your story. And they associate that story with you. When they know your story, it skyrockets that place in the hierarchy, that positioning. All right, especially if it's a good story. Like rags to riches, good story formula. The hometown boy makes good is another one that we like to use. Okay, hometown boy makes good. And what's great about these stories is you all know the formulas already. You already have these formulas in your brain, right? Hometown boy makes good. So for instance, hometown boy makes good goes something like, Jim Rohn, right? I love Jim Rohn. Farm boy from Idaho, right? He's just a hometown boy, farm boy from Idaho, right? And he's 25 years old, he's been a salesman, he's got a wife and kids, he's behind on his bill payments, he's gonna lose his house, right? He's got no money in the bank, pennies in his pockets. And one day, as it's all falling apart, he comes across his mentor, this guy named Earl Shoaff. And Shoaff takes him under his wing and says, you're done selling for that company, I like your spirit, you're gonna sell for me. How much money you got in the bank saved so far? You're 25. And Jim Rohn said, none. He goes, well, what's wrong with you? You got nothing to show for it. Clearly what you're doing isn't working, so I'm gonna teach you how to live, right? And Shoaff teaches him lesson after lesson, right? All these different lessons and lesson after lesson, and Jim Rohn knows it. By the time he's 35, he's a millionaire, right? By the time he's 40, he's a multi-millionaire, right? And then he returns home to Idaho, buys a house for his parents, right? His hometown boy comes back home, makes good. Farm boy from Idaho, met this mentor, went around the world, comes back home, makes good. That's the story, right? That's a story he tells all the time in all of his trainings. But that's a good story. You see how people can they get behind that story? That makes sense to everybody? Okay, so that's the hometown boy makes good. The other one is the reluctant hero. All right, the reluctant hero. I play this role a lot. It's a good one to play. Okay, it's a good one to play, the reluctant hero. This is the one, this goes with rags to riches. So Tony Robbins, right, goes from rags to riches, becomes a millionaire, now he's teaching it to everyone. But when he became a millionaire, he was just showing it to his friends because he was like, I hate seeing my friends not have the success with me. I want to go see the Sphinx in Egypt, right? But they can't afford to go on this trip with me. I hate that. So I'm teaching them these lessons too, and it's working, and their lives are changing. But before I know it, they start telling their friends about it, who tell their friends and their friends. And before I know it, I've got 500 people who want me to teach them how I did what I did. Now, I don't want to. I don't like the spotlight. It's not for me. Okay, I'm just a guy who likes to hang out with my friends. I'm just a regular guy like you. But there's just so many people asking me to do this that I was like, all right, fine. Fine, I'll teach it. So I set up the seminar, and so many people came, and they walked on fire, and it changed their lives. And before I know it, I'm traveling around the globe teaching the whole world. 4 million people or 50 million people in 150 countries, right? And he goes in this whole thing. Does everyone see the reluctance in that? He's the hero, but he's reluctant to teach it. It's not like he wanted the spotlight. It's like people demanded it from him, so it's not his style, but he was just going to go for it. It makes him likable, right? That's a good story formula. Is that true? No, of course not, right? He became a millionaire, and he was like, I got to become a multimillionaire now, so I'm going to do seminars, right? And then he goes in seminars, and he markets it, and he builds it up, and that's great. That's called being an entrepreneur, right? But the way you spin it to the marketplace is as the reluctant hero, because that's what they want to hear. They don't want to hear that you wanted to grow your business, because they're not going to, why would I care that you want to make more money? It's cool that you want to make more money, but why would I care? But instead, if he spins it in the reluctant hero way, whereas, I didn't even want to teach this stuff anymore. I didn't want to make money off it. I just wanted to help my friends. But the man grew and grew and grew, and I couldn't do it anymore. I was just like, all right, fine. Here we go. Does everyone see that difference there? All right. So, reluctant hero. Number 4, social proof. Okay, it's the 4th way you do it, social proof. You just want people talking about you. Okay, you want people buzzing about you. You want articles being written about you. Every time you can show up in someone's feed, whether it's a digital feed or whether it's just like texting with friends or they're at dinner with their friends and your name comes up because you did this thing with this girl or that guy or something happened. Every time you get mentioned like that, you're getting third person buzz, right? You want that. You want that third person buzz. You want everyone talking about you, right? It's social proof. The more you can get people talking about you, the higher your celebrity goes in that moment, right? Is Kanye West, is he really broke right now? $53 million in debt? Do you really believe that? Did he just have a new album come out? Do you think everyone talking about him because he's broke would help his album sales because everyone's talking about him? Who here thinks it's like a genius marketing ploy? I think it's brilliant, right? But he's just getting everyone talking about him, which gives him more social proof. The more social proof you have, the higher celebrity status rises, more money will come to you. Number 5, Google. Google is your friend, okay, for appearing as a celebrity. Do you have a website? Who here has a website? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, good. About half the room. Okay. How much does the website cost to make? $100. You can do it for free on GoDaddy or whatever, like maybe $5. You can get a nice one made on Fiverr.com, or there's another one called Elance.com. I think it's called Upwork.com now. You find freelancers in third world countries who will work for $2 an hour, and they'll build you a personal website. $100. That's it. Okay? And on this website, how hard do you think it would be, knowing what you know about hero story and social proof and all these things that we just talked about, to make you appear like a celebrity on the webpage? Tell your story, have some cool pictures, have some third-person testimonials about you, right? Some positioning yourself verbally. That's it. And all of a sudden, everyone you know who ends up, by the way, everyone's going to Google your name, right? Every girl who might be interested in you, she's going to Google you, right? Friends that you just meet, they're going to Google you. Potential business people, they're going to Google you. They go to the site, you look like a fucking celebrity. Boom, power influence. You get compliance. $100. How could you not have a website? Okay? So everyone should have a website. And number 6, titles, trappings, clothing. Okay? Titles, trappings, clothing. So number 1 with titles, okay? The research continually shows that people become far more compliant when they see letters next to your name. Okay, when they see letters next to your name. Does that mean you have to go get those letters? You have to go become an MD? No, fuck no. Okay, the research even shows that they remain just as compliant when they don't know what those letters stand for. Dude, just as compliant when they don't know what it stands for. That's insane, right? I was literally thinking about, I'm just gonna write like Jason Capital and just put like ZYND. Just after my name every time from now on, every time I sign it, ZYND. What does it mean? I don't know. DDOCMAC. Dr. Dre. And I'm just gonna put random like Snoop SNOOPDOGG next to my name, right? Because people just, you've letters after your name, people are more compliant, okay? So just remember that, okay? And trappings and clothing, okay? Trappings and clothing. Now here, there's 2 ways you can look at this. Okay, the first way is the way that socially conditioned bullshit society would tell you to, which is buy more expensive clothes, people will value you more expensively or as a celebrity and they'll treat you better. That kind of works, okay? It kind of works. There's a lot of studies they've done where they show that people, it's really weird, if there's a really expensive foreign sports car that's driving down the road and someone's driving behind you and this person doesn't know that they're in the study or whatever, they will give that sports car more space even if it's going 15 miles an hour below the speed limit. If it's the cheap American car or whatever, they'll tail it and start honking. So they unconsciously respect and give more space to the rich one than the poor one, okay? Works the same way with clothing. It's no different, right? If you see someone in like a $10,000 Gucci suit or something and they look fresh as fuck, you're not gonna just treat them like shit. You won't do it, okay? Does that mean, again, remember we were talking about celebrity and higher status? If you talk to them for a minute and you see that they don't seem to have all the higher status signals down, then you might start treating them at the bottom of the hierarchy, okay? But at first glance, or if there's a group of girls and they see a guy over there and he looks like he's got the trappings down, then yeah, he's gonna get a little more respect. Now here's the thing. That, like I said, that's the socially conditioned bullshit way to do it. The way I do it, the way I recommend every fucking person here does it, the way I recommend you do it, is you don't have to dress rich. Just dress like a celebrity would. Okay, dress like a celebrity would. What do celebrities typically do when they dress? What does Johnny Depp do? Does he necessarily wear the most expensive clothes or does it look expensive? No. You could dress like Johnny Depp on an $80 budget. Okay, but what does he have? He's got bracelets, he's got rings, he wears the Indiana Jones hat sometimes, which I'm not a fan of, right? But he's got the glasses with no prescription in them. He wears vests a lot, he has certain, yeah, he's got necklaces, he's got the deep V or like the unbuttoned thing down here. He's just dressed like, he looks like a celebrity, right? So remember talking about modeling, we just model the highest status people. Dress like them. You don't have to dress completely like them, but add some of their things to you. You're gonna get similar unconscious responses from people as well. It's so damn simple, right? Now, is Johnny Depp the only one you have to choose? Yes. I'm just kidding. Just making sure you're here, right? No, of course not. Pick a celebrity that you like their style, you like them, how they model, and Frankenstein them the fuck up, right? Just take a little bit from that person, add it to yourself. Take a little bit from that person, add it to yourself, okay? For me personally, I've been looking for my trademark. I'm still looking for it. Like before I had the faux hawk, which no one else had, and that was for years, right? And that was memorable, that made me stand out. That was my trademark. I don't have it anymore, so I'm trying to figure out what my next one is. Like Dean Martin, what did he always have in his hand? Right? He had a glass of, was it scotch or whatever, vodka? Yeah. By the way, it was apple juice. True story. Yeah, he wasn't a big drinker, just funny. But he always had it with him because it's his trademark, right? Winston Churchill always had a cane and a top hat. So by the way, you look at those pictures and you're like, you see him in the cane and the top hat and you're like that's cool, but I assume everyone dressed that way back then. And then you realize like, no, it wasn't 1820, it was 1940. People weren't dressing in top hats and canes everywhere in 1945 or whatever. He was dressing like 80 years before on purpose. That was his trademark. Okay, that was his trademark. So I would recommend, one, you find a trademark, and two, dress like a celebrity. Just find some things that they do. Titles, trappings, clothes. Okay, and the key is that you're implementing these in all 6 areas. So for instance, the final thing I want you to do is, okay, we call these your knowns. Okay? You might want to do this for yourself. And by the way, remember we said in the last module about being your own publicist? This is how you might do it. Oh, look at that. All clicks. Very cool. All right. So we have you. This is your character. This is what the world sees, right? Now we want to make a list of your knowns, which is when someone thinks about you, what are the first few things that come up in your mind? When anyone thinks about you, or anyone thinks about anyone, there's always like 1, 2, 3 things that come up in their mind about that person. So you think of the name, and then you're unconsciously, you go 1, 2, 3, like you kind of create a story around that person. So if I say to you, I don't know, if I say to you Frank Sinatra, what are some things that come up in your mind right now, right away? Very first thing, just say it.
Singer.
What was that? Singer, what else?
Blue eyes.
What was that?
Blue eyes.
Blue eyes, singer, blue eyes, and we'll say Rat Pack?
Yeah, it was
Rat Pack. Boom. Seduction, yeah, arrested for seduction. Right, singer, blue eyes, seduction, old blue eyes, right? One of the most famous singers of all time. There's all these things that come up. If you're at home and you're younger, your grandparents listen to him, right? Your grandpa got a lot of pussy from Frank Sinatra, man. You might not want to think about that. You may have that. So what you want to do is you want to make your list of what knowns, what are the things you want. When someone says your name, what are people going to think about? What is your family, your friends, business people, girls, what are the few things that they think about right now? What you want them to be thinking are the most badass things about you, right? Because then you raise your status in their mind every single time. So here are some of the things that people think about when they think about Jason Capital, right? Celebrity clients, pay him $75K. $75K a year to be a coaching client. Is this a very good thing for me, for people to be thinking about when they think about Jason Capital? That's a great thing. Think about the positioning, right? The celebrity status, all those things. Yeah, it's one of my favorite. I love that. Turns down TV, right? Jason Capital turns down TV offers. Multiple TV offers, meetings, MTV, E! Channel, VH1, whatever, like all of them, right? Turn them all down. Okay, why is that a good piece of positioning for me? TV is celebrities, right? That's where the celebrities are. It's a big deal. It's here. But if you turn down TV, where are you? You're even higher, right? Now, granted, I turn down TV not just for the positioning, but because TV is the stupidest thing in the world. We have a quote later. It's going to come out. It's fucking great about TV, but it's basically that people are the sheep, TV is the shepherd. Okay? Think about that. So that's why I turned down TV. Yeah, that's such an amazing quote. It's so good, though. So that's one. Another one, and this is one that we're going to start. And again, okay, once you know what your knowns are, you start propagating them, right? You start planting them as seeds everywhere. On Facebook, on Instagram, if you run an online business, you start doing it in your emails, in your videos, in conversations with friends, you drop it in there, just embedded. You don't make it the focus, but it's an aside. By the way, yeah, I was actually, this one is, I was voted one of the top 20 most charismatic men in the world. That's fucking beautiful. Great positioning for me, right? A guy who sells a program on charisma named one of the top 20 most charismatic men in the world. That's cool, right? So that's another known that we have about me. And more I have on my list. So I have a list at home. It's just one page, but I keep a list. And I use it when I have emails or videos if I forget, like what are the things I want to be, when I talk about myself, what are the things I want to make sure I mention? I want to mention my knowns, right? So private jets, limos, can't even pee comfortably anymore, right? That's another known. He gets recognized everywhere. Who gets recognized? Celebrities, okay? Same thing. VIP, everything, gets free stuff from companies. It's fucked famous girls, celebrities, fitness models, bikini models, like the whole thing, right? So these are all the knowns that we want related to my brand, related to who I am. So you want to figure out, what are your knowns? What are your knowns going to be? Make a list. Start with 5. Actually, truthfully, what's going to happen is you're going to start with 50 because you're not going to boil it down because you have these huge egos. You're going to be known for everything, right? And I do too. So you have this massive list, and then you whittle it down, and you whittle it down until you get somewhere in the 5 to 10 range, and make those your focus, and propagate them about yourself everywhere, okay? About everywhere. So in the comment section at home, list out what 3 of your knowns are going to be about yourself. Let us know in the comment section right now, and I'll see you in the next module.